Here we are. Hang on. Who's on? Who's on? Hi, folks. Let's see if we can get Mr. Sheehan. Who likes my blue light blockers? Big cheer for the blue light blockers. Who likes them? Hey? Right, Sheehan, where are you? There you are.
How are you? I'm very well. Very well. How are you?
Circle is always so...
Here he is. He's in the park.
So empty promises. I tell you what, we're in the park. We're getting our freak on. If you could see below my shoulders, you'd see an incredibly revealing Mankini. Oh.
Oh.
To the point
where... eat your heart out.
To the point where there's been a great lack of grooming going on for the last 6 months. So now the pubic sort of, let's say, falls. It's almost like a kind of an Iguazu falls out either side.
Is it?
But I keep it.
Didn't they have to? I thought in season 1 of the show, didn't they have to CGI some of your pubes out?
Yeah. There's a nice little Easter egg now for anyone. Anyone who is looking for a career in CGI and like. What?
I've spotted a pube. It's there.
Yeah. That's so mad. Because those leather pants from the first series, the way leather, it kind of ages a bit and it loosens. And then all of a sudden your hips used to be holding up the pants and now your waist is. And now you're letting your pubes
I remember always
seed.
thinking when you ordered those leather pants how they were quite low.
Yeah, yeah.
They were particularly low.
They were barely on. The real pubes are on his face. There you go.
The real pubes are on his face. Yeah.
To be honest with you, there's not that much of a difference between the consistency of hair around my mouth and the consistency of hair around the old treasures.
Really?
It's not that. I mean, it's a bit gruffer, maybe.
To be honest, I never really examined the lower regions in terms of like the growth rate.
And
I just trim when it's necessary. This is a whole other wing to the Earthlocker right now. We're talking about like hair grooming in all its forms.
Yeah.
Do you find as you get older that you have to like start trimming more areas?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
because I never used to have to trim my nose hair, and then all of a sudden Laura was like, "What are these?" You can trim them right off.
Were they dangling below the kind of the rim of the nostril?
Well, yeah, when I first noticed it, and if anyone watches this movie, they'll know, is I first watched, when I watched the cut of a movie I did called Kill Ratio, I saw it in a shot and went, what the hell are they? And turned around to Laura and said, can you see these hairs? And she was like, well, yeah. And I was like, they've got to go. I was like, I can't have that.
You're like, no CGI safety net. No!
Yeah, the budget wasn't high enough on it. Not on the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
To get rid of them bad boys. It was too many.
Yeah. You're eating into the discretionary money with the CGI pube budget.
Yeah, we broke the budget on CGI pube removal. Robert, dye your pubes blonde. That'd be good. When you.
Do you know what? I did a job a few years back where my hair was dyed ice blonde.
Yeah, in fact, I think I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah, for about a kind of a 3-month-ish period, and the amount of times that had to be re-dyed. I think it'd be re-dyed twice over like a 3-month-ish.
It probably wrecked your hair, did it?
Yeah, and you have to put through like silver and purple toners and stuff to stop it going all coppery and yellow. And it was a drag. The level of maintenance, man.
Yeah, I've only had to do that. I had to do it once for a mohawk that I had, like a bright blonde mohawk, and then I got appendicitis on that job and had to leave the job. That's when, remember I told you that story when I had the in America, the healthcare system in America,
Oh,
and it was when I
yeah.
first moved there. That's when that happened. So I was on a movie in Spokane, in
Washington, right?
in Washington, in Washington State, and I got this appendicitis on the first week of shooting, and then had to leave the job. But I went into hospital with this bright blonde mohawk.
And you were saying, because we spoke about this on the podcast, that you were saying that you got hit with a bunch of forms that were essentially kind of like veiled insurance waivers.
Yeah.
Which meant that you ended up with an enormous surprise medical bill in the USA.
Yeah. It was my wake-up call to realizing how kind of bad America has it if you don't have insurance, and how bad it can be. Like, they chase after you for real money. Like, I mean, I had a bill that was like nearly $40,000, and I was a young actor with no money over there. And we ended up coming back, but we had to go through this whole protocol to be able to get out of the bills. So people who live in America, I feel for you. Like, I've been there. It's tough, and the insurance that will cost you that much in a year anyway. So it's ridiculous.
I tell you what, I had a similar thing happen in the UK quite recently, where a previous place that I lived in, my friend who owns that place sent me a picture of a quite a scary looking letter, that a bailiff letters, where the letters are all in big red and they're trying to terrify you. And I was like, oh, this is for some like 700 quid or something and then I investigated it. I asked him to call the number on the letter. And it turned out that driven past a property that they believed that I lived at 5 years ago with some sort of TV detector. And then they checked the property for the TV license, and there was none registered. So this bill came to me, which I never received. And then it started to multiply, right? And then suddenly I had this scary letter for like 700 quid coming through the door. And I said to the man on the phone, I eventually spoke to him. I was like, you know, how do you think that you could convince him to give you, or to make me pay that money when I never knew that it was accumulating? And he was like, and then he threw a few scare tactics at me. Like, one was, oh, you might get stopped at the airport at customs, and then you'll have to pay it. And then I kind of went, you know, it'd be an interesting thing to go to like a small claims court and just sort of just go through that experience. So I kind of conveyed my interest in going to court
go on.
over the phone. And he just disappeared. He just disappeared completely. Yeah. So for all of you out there who get like them scary letters through the door, there's essentially a fear tactic. Well, I can't speak for all of them, but in my case, I basically said,
exactly. We're just going to give advice, right? Yeah, it won't come to anything. Ignore it.
That's for all them letters, because I'm a legal expert now.
Yeah. Someone just said, this is the first time I'm watching this. What is the Earth Locker? The Earth Locker is a podcast that myself and Rob and our marvelous co-host and producer, Byron Knight, the Dungaree Dad on Instagram, are hosting, and we're shooting the first season of it right now. Laura, come say hi to my wife, Laura. Come say hi. Come say hi to everyone. Laura's just done a Zoom. Say hi to everyone.
Hello, Rob, because he's got silly headphones.
Yeah, he's saying hi, love. How are you?
Hi. I'm wonderful. Although I've got an injury, Rob, from getting rid of the bloody shed.
Oh yeah, so we're making this patio in our back garden, and it's going to be marvelous when it's done. But my God, is it a catalyst for arguments?
Who, between you and Laura?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous because we had to dismantle a shed that existed up there, because we've got to put a different shed in. But you know, when you're trying to look after the two kids, and then you're trying to distribute who's looking after the kids, who's doing the stuff on the patio, who's moving stuff.
I think you overestimate me, Tom.
I think I probably do.
My child care
that's what time it is, you see.
I'm not
That's
far
what
behind
I'll do to you.
So delicious. He's in a park.
He's in a park, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in a park somewhere.
To be honest, it was either this or be late again. Yeah. So for those of you, asking about the Earthlocker, we have been sort of preparing the ground for releasing our lovely Earthlocker episodes. What we've been cooking up, sort of just post lockdown, and these are the chats to talk about what it is. And last week I was late getting on the Instagram live because I'm shambolic, and I need someone to kind of coax me and do the admin.
Yeah. But
it's been lovely.
We expect.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, so we expect it to be the actual podcast to be coming out in June to July, we think.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all things about trying to help you guys understand more stuff about health and wellness and the environment, how to help the environment, how to become better earthlings, basically.
Yeah, all good ideas that lead
all
to
good
that,
stuff.
Right?
Which, by the way, anyone who's on here, ask us questions because we'll answer them right now. We want to know what kind of questions you have about how you want to all become better earthlings and how we can help with the people we've been speaking to, and how they'll be able to help you.
We've been chatting to some proper smarty pants from around the world.
Oh God, like ridiculous.
We'd love to get requests. Fashion sustainability, we're cooking with gas on that front.
We
have some interesting guests lined up to do with fashion sustainability. Will the podcast be on Spotify? The podcast will be available on major platforms. To be honest with you, it will be, and I know that, but again, admin is definitely not my strong suit. Hola! Are you guys growing veg?
I am actually. We're doing a bit of that.
Are you? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, I've got these. I'm looking into. They started to. That was part of the argument actually, because I wanted to turn the patio area that Laura wanted to turn to a patio into a whole massive veg patch, and she was like, "Tom, you go away. When are you not? You get a bit carried away because of the COVID thing, but when COVID isn't on, you're away for 6 months of the year, and I'm gonna have to look after all that veg while I look after 2 kids." So I was like, "Okay, fair enough." So what I can do is these kind of like raised ones, but you can almost have them inside, but they can grow a cabbage or whatever in 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So you can just restart it again every time that you come back.
Really?
Yeah, it's good.
Sort of
we need to try and get an expert on on the podcast. Yeah, there's loads of different ones because they're called smart gardens. So you can get them for herbs, you can get them for someone just asked.
I just saw a thing buzz past saying sustainability at home ? That's a good subject for the podcast.
It's a big one.
Smart gardens.
Yeah. So they're pretty good because I've got my herb garden, but I want to actually be able to grow my own veg.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around that a bit as well. I tell you one thing, over the past couple of months, me and a pal or two have been going around guerrilla wildflower seeding different parks and recs and open spaces around London, doing our initials and stuff.
Yeah.
If we find a little blank patch. And then on my balcony.
And what do you do? You just put Can you just put them in the ground, those seed bomb things?
Yeah, you just the seeds. You know what I mean? You just thumb them in.
Yeah. Someone just asked for give them a good thumbing. Someone just asked for any good tips on meditation. We're going to talk a lot about meditation on the podcast. Rob's big into it. I've become more into it recently. I used to be. I'll tell you one thing. I had a mate who was like, "Yeah, I don't really need to meditate. I've got nothing that's stressing me out and stuff." And I said to him, "Thing is, meditation's so much more than that. You go to a deeper place in your brain, and in your psyche where you discover because as you're, especially from a creative standpoint, you end up going to this deep place in your psyche that you never thought was there." Yeah. And then creatively, you come up with stuff that you're boom. Do you ever have it in your dreams where you come up with an idea for something, like in a dream. It's a similar sort of state. Hey, we lost Rob.
And it leaves sort of this mad, interesting emotional residue, doesn't it? You go, there was a revelation somewhere. I was gonna say, for the person for asking for quick tips, stick on some gentle music and then just listen to the music. Close your eyes and listen to it. That's it.
Yeah.
And any time that you feel like you're thinking about stuff, like having to, muck out the cat bin.
Which most of us do. We're all thinking about that. Oh, Rob's paused on a... Rob's frozen. I assume Rob's frozen for everyone else, but Rob's frozen on a brilliant...
People live your lives, but you have stuff to do, emails and all that stuff. Just whenever you catch yourself...
Yeah. Oh. Oh, is he gone?
Sorry.
It's all right. I think my phone is dying, everyone.
Oh.
If you can hear me, I'm sorry. I'm a terribly unprofessional podcaster. It's probably because he's in a park. Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, maybe that. You keep freezing on the best faces, though, if everyone can see this. I really hope that everyone else is getting the same freezes that I'm getting. Rob4G says, nope, correct. Here's a question for you, and I talk about this in the podcast. Is it just me, or